Hi, my name is Vivian. I am a violin teacher based out of North Carolina, and today this mini lesson is going to be about beginner scales. So scales are one of the building block foundations of Western classical music. They are so important for any classical musician to practice, and they are going to be the basis of your technique and an opportunity to practice pretty much anything you can think of, from posture to rhythm to intonation to expression even. Today, I'm going to teach you your very first scales. These are going to be little 4-note scales, and some of them are going to be introductions into full 1-octave scales, which is exciting. We're going to learn our 4-note scales starting on each of the open strings, okay? And these will be primers for you to start playing scales in the key of G, D, and A, which is really exciting. And then you can do all of the A major scale actually once you know all of the 4-note scales on all the open strings. We're leaving everything in first position because this is a beginner-oriented video. So let's grab our violin. We're going to start with the A string because it's very easy to play on. And we're going to do the 4-note A major scale. Okay? And all we're going to do is we're going to play open A, B, C sharp, D. And then going back. Very good. And when you play this, I want you to practice placing your fingers down on the finger tapes, like right in the center, right in the bullseye, I call it. This will really help us practice our intonation, which is whether a note is in tune or not. And another thing to practice for intonation is also using your ears and listening for a ringing sound when you play, okay? Let's play the A major scale again, nice and fluidly. Very good. With all of these scales, we're going to focus on the high 2 fingering, where the 2 is going to be right next to our 3rd finger. You learned the 4-note scale starting on A string. Let's go down the strings. Let's go down to D string. Now this is a great one to practice both our intonation, placing your fingers correctly. It's also a really great opportunity to practice our bow control because it can be hard to play on the D string. It's a little bit higher up with our bow arm, and some people have a hard time figuring out where that D string is since they're so used to playing on the A and the E strings. So let's try that D string. 1, 2, and back down to his G, F sharp, E, D. Great job. Let's move on to the G string. This is where our elbow and our bow arm is going to be the highest of all, so it's a really great time to practice that. Practicing having a nice, relaxed, and heavy feeling arm. So even though you're up here, you're still nice and relaxed, and you're not like trying to like pull the bow off the string. For the G string scale, let's practice placing our hand so that we are placing our fingers on the strings right on the fingertips. Right on the fingertips, and giving the string enough pressure so that the notes sound, but not too much pressure because we don't want to see our fingertip turn white. That'd be too much pressure. Okay, so let's focus on our finger pressure this time. Good, starting on G string. Ready? G, A, B, C natural. Let's go for the E string 4-note scale. And with this one, let's focus on our bow hold, okay? In addition to our fingers and placing them accurately on the string. Ready? E, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, E. Very good. So now that you can play the 4-note scales on all 4 strings, we're going to try playing a 1-octave A major scale, okay? We're going to play the 4-note scale on A string, and then the 4-note scale on E string. We're not going to repeat our 3 except at the top of the E 4-note scale. So we're not going to repeat the D on A string, okay? Just the A on E string. All right? If that didn't make sense, no worries. I'll play a demo for you, and then we're going to play it together, okay? Here are the notes to the 1-octave A major scale. A, B, C sharp, D, moving on to E string, F sharp, G sharp, A, and back down, repeating A, G sharp, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A. Very good. Did you notice which 3 notes had a sharp? It was F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. The A major key has 3 sharps in its key signature. The key signature is the unique set of notes for each key. It's like if you sign your name in your signature, people know that it's you signing your name. For a key signature for a key, if we see a certain number of sharps or flats, we know that that is that particular key's signature. That's why we call it a key signature. So the A major key signature, you can tell it's A major because it has 3 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And I said it in that order, even though we don't play the notes, we don't play the sharps in that order. We play it C sharp, F sharp, and then G sharp, right? But F sharp, C sharp, G sharp is how it appears on the key signature, going from the bottom to the top. So that's why I said it in that order. Okay, we're going to try playing the A major scale 1 octave together, and I'm going to have you focus on one thing, in addition to your intonation, of course. And that is on the way down, the descending scale, so when you're on the 3, when you get to the A string and you need to play 3, 2, 1, A, I want to see if you can put your fingers down, all 3 of them down at the same time, and then make that be accurate. If you can get in the habit of placing all 3 fingers down, or 2 fingers down when you need to play 2, that is going to strengthen your hand frame and make your intonation more reliable. So let's try playing the 1 octave A major scale, 1 note per bow. Ready, set, here we go. B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Repeat A, G sharp, F sharp, E. Place all 3 fingers down on A string, C sharp, B. How'd it go? If not so great, that is okay. This is a perfect opportunity to practice this scale. And you can practice this scale as early as when you learn twinkle or when you learn to put your fingers down on the string. So it can be your very first scale, which is really exciting. As I said before, the scales are a great opportunity to practice pretty much any aspect of technique that you want. And technique is the skill on your instrument versus like learning pieces, learning repertoire. Technique is skill on the instrument. what I would recommend for beginners is practicing posture. So that is making sure that their collarbones are nice and wide, and that their chest is nice and wide. They're standing up nice and tall. Their head is appropriately balanced on their neck, and they have a nice body balance, a nice distribution of weight between their legs. You're standing up just nice and tall. You can also, in the posture bracket, you can practice having your violin, making sure that it sits right on your collarbone. It's not too low or too high. You can make sure that your wrist is in neutral, so not bent like this or like that, but in neutral. For your right hand posture, you can practice your bow hold. You can also make sure that your bow arm is moving correctly, so like that your elbow is opening and closing in addition to your wrist being flexible. The other things you can practice are tempo, so you could try seeing how slowly you could play the scale with still good tone. You could see if you can play the scale medium tempo. It's probably the easiest to do. You can see if you can play the scale fast, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A, right? So that's tempo. You could try doing different rhythms and different combinations of rhythms where you could repeat some notes or not. So you could do A, B, B, C, C, D, D, or A, B, 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 C, 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 D, 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 or you could go A, B, B, C, D, D for a challenge. So you could do that, and that's really good for practicing your bow technique. Another thing to practice with bow technique, I don't want to overwhelm you. These are just some options that you have and some things that I might assign in a lesson if you're my student. Another option for bow technique is we can practice our bow distribution. So using the whole bow, or only using half the bow, or a quarter of the bow. And then of course you can focus on your left hand. You can focus on intonation, putting all 3 fingers down when you have the opportunity to do so, making sure that your thumb is nice and relaxed, all of that good stuff. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email or drop a comment down below. And if you are my student, I will see you in my next lesson with you. And if not, I will see you in the next video. Okay, thank you. Bye.